Hi, I'm Jana Riley, and this is Ageless. I'm 40, and my life is just getting started. I'm here to share real talk and real experiences about how to live life ageless. Nothing's off the table. You know the vibes. Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Ageless. And today we will be discussing the secret door of success. And that is it's a teaching from metaphysical writer and spiritual teacher Florence Scovel Shinn. And one of my greatest mentors and spiritual teachers introduced me to the incredible gift that is the collected works of Florence Scovel Shinn. It's a book packed with affirmations and teachings given by Florence on how to control conditions and release abundance through a knowledge of spiritual law. So exciting. So this morning I was reading one of the teachings, The Secret Door of Success, and it starts by saying, a successful man is always asked, what is the secret of your success? People never ask a man who is a failure, what is the secret of your failure? Most people want to know how to open the secret door of success. And Florence says, for each man there is success, but it seems to be behind a door or a wall. So Florence compares the door or a wall to resentment. So resenting someone or resenting a situation, because resentment will shut us off from our goodness. So if you are a failure and resent the success of someone else, you are keeping away your own success. That's what Florence says. So we have to change the narrative. We have to change the narrative to neutralize envy and resentment. So when we make an affirmation of truth, that's when we topple the wall. That is when we overcome resentment, we change our perception, we change our perspective. And Florence says, the walls of lack and delay now crumble away, and I enter my promised land under grace. So I'm going to read that affirmation again. The walls of lack and delay now crumble away, and I enter my promised land under grace. So if I have a vivid picture of myself stepping over a fallen wall, I will receive the demonstration of my good almost immediately. So words and visualization have so much power. So Florence says, it is the word of realization which brings about change in your affairs. For words and thoughts are a form of radioactivity. So radioactivity is to give up energy in order to shift to a more stable configuration. And it's the act of emitting radiation spontaneously. So we can emit our negative energy in order to shift to our goodness. Florence also says that taking an interest in your work and enjoying what you're doing opens the secret door of success. So be interesting yourself, and others will also find you interesting. So a good disposition and a smile often opens the secret door. So what immediately came to mind when I was reading that is a friend of mine who has an employee that is awful. This guy always has a problem, has horrible posture, never wants to be there, has no intention of doing a good job. Customers hate him. And you would think, turn things around or let him go. And that's the first thing that I said to my friend. I said, either your employee needs to take some interest in his job, or you have to make that change. You have to let him go, because this is affecting your whole environment, the whole ecosystem in your job. Other employees don't like him, customers don't like him. So now we need to make a change. So that's the first thing that I thought of. If this employee starts taking an interest in the work that he's doing and starts to enjoy what he's doing, then he will probably open the secret door of success and be successful and be happy. And, when somebody's happy, their shoulders are back, their posture is different, they're glowing, they radiate, and they treat people differently. So the employees will start changing their minds. The customers might be appreciating their time a little bit more with him. And that's just how it works. It starts with us. It's a choice. It starts with us. So Florence says, success is not a secret. It's a system. The road to success is a straight and narrow path. It's a road of loving absorption of undivided attention. I loved that. And the first thing I thought of was writing a song. And for those of you who have never written a song before, there's no rules to it. Everybody has their own process. And for my process, I have to first be inspired by some buzzwords. So I just wrote this song called Boomerang. And the word boomerang was my initial jump off point. And life is a boomerang. You get what you give. So those are some of the lyrics. And I write the hook first. And then after the hook, I write the first verse. After the first verse, I write the bridge. And after I write the bridge, I fill in the remaining verses. And that's how I write the lyrics. I think words are just so powerful. They are the first part of my songwriting. And I'll normally have a musical hook in my head that's just kind of running like crazy in my head. Like I'll just be humming it. And that's when I'll put the music to the song. But the hook comes first for me. The hook and the first verse are my two biggies. So that's what I thought of, is the road to writing a successful song is first having interest in it, giving it your love, and when you're loving it, you're giving it your undivided attention, and you can get to completion. So you attract the things that you give a great deal of thought to, is what Florence says. If you give a great deal of thought to lack, you'll attract lack and limitation. If you give a great deal of thought to injustice, you'll attract more injustice. So the point is this: the power of your word dissolves obstacles and removes barriers. It is so inspiring because it gives us the realization of how our own rock and our own barriers will part or crumble at the right words that are thrown at them. So words are so powerful. Where and how we exert them can either be life-giving or it can be ruinous. But the choice is always going to be ours to make. We have the choice. We can either stay in the negativity, stay in the lack, stay in the limitation, or we can open the secret door of success, change our minds, or we can be on the straight and narrow path. The straight and narrow, loving path of undivided attention. That's what I want. You know, I don't care what it takes to get there, as long as I'm walking on that path. And it's our choice if we want to topple the wall, break down the door, and be in our goodness. It's always going to be there. It's always a choice. And so I will just leave you with this. How are you going to open your secret door of success today? And remember, we're just in these 24 hours. The past doesn't matter. It doesn't exist anymore. It only exists if you make it a part of your present. And when you make it part of your present, it becomes part of your future. And the future hasn't happened yet. So focus on your present. How are you going to open that secret door of success, that formula, that success system for your day today? And I'll leave you with that. Mwah.
Thank you for joining me for another episode of Ageless. Don't forget to rate and subscribe. Tune in next week for a new episode.